Miss Michelle. How are you?
Hi, everybody. Good morning.
Everybody's excited to hear more about what all you're going to be telling us about. But it definitely is looking great. Meet some of our guys, Michelle. There's Gary, and we got Jeff on, and Ron. You don't know Ron, do you? But he just had to go take another call for a prescription.
Oh, bless his heart. I think
Yeah,
Ron, is that Ron Rappaport? Maybe.
exactly.
Yes, I do know Ron. I'm fortunate enough to do know Ron.
That's right. He's a great guy. Well, I'm excited that you're going to get to meet Gary over here because he's got some questions he's going to want to ask you. So I introduce you
Perfect.
to you.
I'm just so thankful that we've had the opportunity to meet. And,
That's-
we did meet through another client of ours who has a cancer support group, and that's how we met Ron. And so the
yeah, explain how you met. Ron was he said he met through somebody else through the It's a Wrap, but
Right. Well, the scientist that Greg and I've worked with for over 30 years wrote the book Life Extension. And they have a history that they were involved in it's very deep nutritional education for people to help them better understand how nutrition could be part of any healthy and wellness protocol. And in that process, the female, Sandy Shaw, ended up finding out she had a cancer of the parathyroid, which is part of the lymphatic system, and was given less than 3 months to live. So from that part, as you know, Dirk's a triple major, triple minor out of MIT. Sandy was out of UCLA. They figured that they had nothing to lose but to try because she was only given like 3 months. So they delved heavily into research about antioxidants. And if anybody's on this call, Denham Harmon is actually one of the founders out of the University of Nebraska who came up with the theory on free radicals, which is behind the concept of, how cancer gets its initial start. So they did some radiation and immunology, and at that time, it wasn't something that was even considered. And she has had a very wonderful lifespan recovered. Uh, she did have, some issues with her vocal cord and that type of stuff, but, 50 years plus of longevity after, she'd been told that she had less than 3 months. So, I had met Dirk and Sandy through another health and nutrition company, and a lot of people knew about them because their book was fairly well out. And from that, people just kind of gravitate back. Once you know who they are, you know what their why is about what they did, their purpose. People just have found that, their products have been very valuable in helping them have healthier, more lives. So I met a guy named Chuck who actually knows Ron Rapp. They did a podcast together, and we have had Chuck and his group. He's a former stage 4 cancer of prostate. And so, we've been able to collaborate. Now, Life Priority is a health and nutrition company. We're not a medical company. We do have functional medicine doctors and chiropractors and people that are in that field that, participate and are great to help people if they've got questions. But our lane is really about the positive impact that nutrition can possibly have with helping you keep you healthy and active.
that's amazing stuff, girl.
Well, thank you. I mean, I believe that God has a plan on how he networks with people. And when I had my conversation with Ron, he was pretty funny because, we get a lot of people who want to partner. We are a small family owned business. And there's a lot of people out there that, I have a background in psychology and sociology. So for me, it's what is your why? Why are you doing what you're doing? Because there's certain people I want to support on a journey, and there's some people that I don't see a fit. So when I talked to Ron, and then he said, you got to talk to my friend Peggy. I mean, that was a natural. And then coming to your house and
Yeah,
getting to see, your wonderful setup as a grandmother and your office and everything. I mean, your heart and soul is truly in giving people a lifeline of support. And it's not all about medicine. Sometimes it's the emotional caring and the hope. And I will tell you, I have been fortunate enough to support and work with several people who are on, the journey getting to health that have dealt with cancer. And the reason that I had talked to you about the lift caps, because a lot of people who end up through chemo treatments are just totally mentally wiped, and I've heard it called the chemo brain. And
totally.
they all seem to come back. And that was Chuck's main thing too,
Mm.
is that the lift caps had been a great support and help through that journey. So that's why we decided to see what we could work with you and share it with the guys and, give them whatever support that we can.
That's awesome. Fantastic. I mean,
Yeah.
and with that, so what if you're willing to, we'll give you a little bit of earlier start than
Sure.
10:30. I want you to introduce yourself. I want you to tell us about your story about Greg, and we can go from there. So,
Sure.
welcome.
Well, thank you. I appreciate the opportunity to share the Life Priority products with you and your group. Unfortunately, my husband, who was actually the initiator of Life Priority with our scientists, can't make the call today. He's at a Royals baseball camp in Surprise, Arizona. So I'm going to be batting first, second, third, fourth the whole time here. But we have had the wonderful opportunity to connect through you, through Ron Rappaport, who I had sent me an email about the possibility of discussing our products. And we've kind of been a little skeptical as to who we want to partner with and do, but uh, following up on Ron and him and who he is and what he is, we want to work with people that are sincere and really want to um, improve people's experience and time. And many years ago, Greg and I were actually on the board for the fibromyalgia cystic fibrosis group in Kansas City. And, when people need help and support, they'll do almost anything. And so sometimes they're vulnerable. So we've just tried to be very protective and very upfront about what we want to do to give people good information and support them on that journey. So we started Life Priority 30 years ago. And I just had my 71st birthday, and thank you. And Greg is 75. And as I mentioned, he's at Fantasy Camp. We love life. We want to promote family and, longevity and happiness. As long as God gives us time on this earth, let's live it to the fullest, enjoy it, and promote whatever we can. So, we have products that were designed by scientists. I have 3 different people that I've worked with for almost 30 years that manufacture, promote, they review the labels and everything. So we are a health and nutrition company. We're not a medical company. We have supplements that support people wanting to be healthier and happier. And, Peggy, you and I met because of the lift caps. And like I mentioned, these are great if somebody's going through some mental challenges. And I am probably the biggest proponent of the lift caps because I had 3 small children. a husband who was active in baseball. I was almost like a single mother, and my hormones were just all over the place. And lift caps is what gave me the mental fortitude to kind of dig myself out of what I would have called depression at that time because I was overwhelmed. And I do know from the people that we've shared it with that have gone through chemo, they love it for a thing called chemo brain. It's a nutritional product. It's got B vitamins in it and things that will support better brain health. So I'm just happy that we're able to connect with you guys and help support you any way we can.
That's wonderful. We can't thank you enough. And to add to what you say, the care packages that we send you guys, Michelle has now sent us these. Oh, there we go. So we can get them out in the care packages to you too. So you let us know. We'll send you a sample so you can try it. Or just get with Michelle on a one-to-one basis. I got to tell you, this woman is so knowledgeable. She went step by step, like Ron had said originally, step by step to what she thought would help me. And I got to tell you, this stuff is amazing. It's working. It is so fantastic and everything. But, her and Greg, like I say, both of them are amazing. I can't believe they live in our wonderful city. We're here all together. And like I told Michelle, in April, we're going to bring it live here with the conference, and they'll be part of it then also. But let's open it up for questions right now. Whoever would like to ask Michelle some questions, and Ron and Jeff and Gary that are on the call right now, go for it.
Yeah, how you doing? I'm Gary Davis here in Georgia, and I myself have a bone metastasis issue. However, I am taking a vitamin D per my doctor, but when I do physical exercise or if I play golf or whatever, I have this really, I'm not gonna say bad, but I have this bone irritation or and so my question to you, do you have any supplements to help strengthen a person's bones?
That's a wonderful question. And what I want to tell you is we're on the health side. So with somebody that's going through some medical treatments, I just have to make that clarification. We do not prescribe or diagnose, but for people who are interested in protecting and supporting their bone health, we have a wonderful calcium product. And calcium, magnesium, and vitamin C are kind of like the triangle that really can help support good bone health. And your name's Terry?
Gary.
Gary, I'm sorry, Gary. Yes. Those would be three products that I think that you could look at to try. And I think that, whenever you're going through medical things, it's always good to share that information with both your pharmacist and your doctor. That way, everybody's on the same page.
So how do I get in touch with you?
Well, we have a website and it's it's www.lifepriority.com. And if you want to call and set up a specific consultation, Gary, let me give you my direct email, okay? And we could go more in depth on some of my suggestions and recommendations. It's M as in Michelle,
Mhm.
and then Pryor, Pryor at lifepriority.com.
Gotcha. Thank you.
And Brett just
You
put
are
that
very
in
welcome.
the chat, right, Brett?
Just at least the website.
Yeah, the website is there.
Well, and here's another thing that I want you guys to seriously remember. We want to support your group, and there's a lot of information out there, and I am fortunate to meet Ron, who is a pharmacist and knows a lot of stuff. So, whatever information that we share with you, we're going to give it to you from the best of our ability. And the thing that I want you to know is always, always verify what information and make sure that you're cross-checking with your doctors. And hopefully, most of your doctors care about the nutritional aspect as much as they know about the drug aspect. But see, Gary, that's the part. My husband is 75. He's a former professional baseball player, played 16 years, and he didn't want to give up his golf game either. And, after all those seasons in baseball, he had some joint issues and everything. And, he's still active. In fact, he's out there with George Brett today. They're like fooling around like they're little 20-year-olds again. So, I mean, there's things that we think we can share with you. And I want you to make sure that you use the Men's Breast Cancer Awareness Code because we are contributing back to your organization.
Thank you so much.
You are so welcome. Look forward to catching up with you and maybe giving you some more insight. And I will tell you, Gary, the lift caps are great for energy. So, when you can think clearly, where the head goes, the body follows. And I used to teach snow skiing at Park City, Utah. And I was always taught by my trainer that where the head goes, the body follows. Okay.
Absolutely.
Michelle, what is that promo code again? Can I put that in the chat?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Peggy, you've got it. You guys made it up.
Oh, that's right.
Is it just the BM1T?
Yeah, MBCH. Uh-huh.
What is that again?
Brett. BM1T MBCH.
All right, so if they put that code in, then we'll get 10 or some percentage back.
Yeah, the percentage will go back to you all, which will continue to get the shirts. And God bless her. Now she sent us these, so I'll be sending them out in the care package.
Okay, great.
All that.
Great. I'll probably put that on the podcast.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Absolutely, Ron.
So we can, rather than the money funneling back to me, I'd rather have it just go to male breast cancer happens.org. I just want to add, Michelle, being a pharmacist, yes, I did retire a while back, but I, of course, keep up. I just want to let everybody know out there that Michelle's absolutely right. When you decide on a product, run it by your physician and ask your pharmacist to run a drug interaction check. Now, you may not be on a lot of medications, so it may not be an issue. But for people like me that are on several medications that can affect your blood pressure and that kind of thing, you want to make sure that even though the product may be a good supplement for you, it may contain an ingredient that's not so good for you. So you have to take all this and weigh it and then run it by the physician and get their approval, which is important. You don't want to be off on a limb somewhere just doing your own thing, and then you have a problem down the road.
So Ron, would they be able to immediately determine whether or not, this product is safe for you, or would they have
you can run a drug interaction if you have one pharmacy, which most people do now, and if you don't, you still have you get a medication list of what you're on, and take it to your local pharmacy and tell them to run a drug interaction check, and they can those drug interaction checks come back, either it's a major problem, minor, obscure, it comes in degrees. So, and they can do that, within a couple minutes, really. There's software out there that they do that all day long.
Okay.
Ron, have you heard of the website drugs.com?
Yes.
That's the one that most of my pharmacists who have clients that have those considerations, they use that as a referral for the clients just to double check.
Yeah, and there's also if you just Google drug interaction check, I believe WebMD has one too. That's real good.
You know, the guy, one of the guys that writes for us used to be one of the initiators of WebMD.
Yeah, that's a
He's
very
the
good.
one that talks about the exercises. In
Yeah.
fact, we've got him working on some exercises that specific people who have cancer issues can work with, you know,
Yes.
more compromised immune system. So I'll share that with you once Jay gets that put together.
Okay, I believe Mayo Clinic also has a
They
interactive
do.
checker. But you have to remember that the layperson is going to use this, and there's going to be terms that the layperson isn't going to know. You know,
Correct.
they're going to talk about, stuff in scientific terms, QT intervals, which most people wouldn't know about, that type of thing. There's going to be jargon in there that they're not going to know. So it's still best to check with the doctor.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, and an interesting story for you guys. Both of my parents are alive and they're 92 and 93. And my mother had some issues where she got dehydrated. And through the process of going through the hospital, my mom came home with 26 different medications from 4 different doctors.
Oh,
So, you know, and that's a real key that everybody should be aware of. Get one pharmacist to do everything because, you know, spending time with the pharmacist, we were able to cut that thing down to 8,
yeah,
where, you know, it was just it was overwhelming, you know, for somebody that age, even trying to remember and then, you know, pull it together. So one pharmacist, one place is what I suggest too.
absolutely. That avoids what we call polypharmacy, where you're getting the same drugs from different sources and people. I have a father-in-law that's 95, and yeah, I know exactly what you're dealing with. They just don't understand. They can't remember, and it gets really tricky then and dangerous.
Yeah.
Michelle, would you recommend any particular vitamins for somebody who is just turned 39? Yeah, and just anything that you would recommend as just like a regular daily type vitamin that you guys carry.
I love a product, especially since you've already worked with some uh, what I would consider health concerns, the Life Shield. And it's a product that's very, very potent. And Dirk and Sandy designed it for themselves because she is a cancer survivor. And it's one of those products where you take, you know, a multivitamin with each meal. And because most people don't understand that every single time you eat, there's nutrients in there in that metabolic process that can either be a positive or a negative. And so that's the one I would recommend for you, Brett, is the Life Shield. Because, you know, already working with having your immune system somewhat compromised, this is what I consider a great life shield for your future. So I would say the Life Shield would be good. The Lifeguard is good for maybe a normal, healthy person that's running around and doing everything. But I personally take Life Shield. I've had some autoimmune disorders myself, and I can tell you it's been phenomenal for me. I had asthma. I don't have asthma anymore. I still work with some things, but I credit the Life Shield as being a very, very important part of my daily routine.
Awesome. Thank you. I will look
You're
into
welcome.
it.
All right. Any other questions at hand? I don't know if Jeff's had a chance to listen or if he had any questions. Because he's just being able to listen. Gary, what did you retire from?
Insurance.
Insurance. That's what it was. Which company? State Farm or no?
Allstate.
Allstate. That's right. I knew it was okay. Good, good, good. This man's knowledgeable, I'll tell you.
Awesome. Well, you know, Gary, it's funny because Greg and I consider we have a health insurance policy, you know, because with vitamins and supplements, they're meant to be an insurance policy that whatever you may not be getting in your foods, you can definitely get them in your vitamins. And that's why it's so important to get quality products from people that really know how, you know, to put those formulas together, because the body is so complex and it's wonderfully complex. I've been doing this for 30 years, and I'll tell you what, the older I get, the more I realize the less I know. I learn something new every single day.
Yes, and like I said, I can't wait to email you because I'm looking forward to having a discussion with you about my situation. So,
Awesome. Well, I look forward to helping you give suggestions and going from there. And I'm one of those people um, that you know, I really scrutinize my doctors. I want to know if they are as nutritionally based and thought process as much as they're willing to give me a medicine. I don't want a quick fix. I want a long-term solution on what I do. And just recently, last year, my grandson, Max, went through a type of cancer, which was in his stomach. And the doctors kept telling him that maybe it was emotional, you know, him being 13, not wanting to go to, I mean, you know how you can go through just different situations. Well, come to find out, it was Burkitt's lymphoma, which is one of the fastest growing cancers in young boys. And so he was at Stanford. And I had talked to my daughter, even though we know what we know about nutrition, I wanted them to get some consult from the hospital. And they really didn't share a whole lot as far as, you know, health wise, but yet my son and daughter are very proactive on that. But thank God, Max is passed. He rang the bell, and we're in a good position. We've learned a lot through that lesson, and hopefully that can help us share with others also. Well, you know, Peggy, I think for me, I grew up on a farm, and
Mhm.
the food that we used to eat in the 70s, 60s is a different food than
By
we have.
far.
And I just think the more people are aware of how food is medicine, you know, exercise is medicine, spirituality is a form of medicine. So, but with the food aspect, I think that there's a lot that's being lacked when a lot of people have compromised immune systems or disease issues that's not being really addressed as much. Now, I'm seeing a whole lot of good stuff with the functional medicine doctors and everything, and it's great because, you know, it's that full lifestyle that has to pull in so that you can. And like me, I want to be around for my grandkids to play with them. We play pickleball, we went paddle boarding. You know, I want to be as active and as healthy with them as I possibly can.
Totally agree with you. I'm in the same boat, sister. With 4 grandbabies, we got to keep going, right?
Absolutely.
Definitely. So Renee just joined us. Are you there, Miss Renee? I was gonna say, I don't know if she's there. She's a nurse navigator from
Oh,
Denver,
nice.
and she's got patient right now. She's working. There's Renee.
Hi, how are
Hey,
you?
kiddo. All right.
Oh, come on. When I get on my computer here in a little bit, I forgot about the time change. I'm sorry, but
Hey,
so
no,
glad
you're
to be here.
good. You're in good shape. But we have Michelle talking about life priority, Michelle Pryor.
Hi,
And
Renee.
Hi, Michelle.
they've got a great line of product. I mean, like I say, we're recording everything, so you'll get a chance to do that. But Renee, tell them what you do real quick.
Oh, sure. Well, I'm a breast cancer nurse navigator over at Parker Adventist Health Cancer Center. And when breast cancer diagnoses come in, their pathologies, I call them, I let them know what the results were and actually help navigate them for next steps. And we have had males as well as females. And so glad we've connected because the resources out there for males are not always as prevalent. And I feel like we've found a treasure box with you all. So thank you so much.
Absolutely. And there, Gary's back too. Renee's going to be coming to Kansas City because her son lives here.
Right.
Nice.
So the week of November 20th, right?
Right. Mm-hmm. So
Okay,
we'll
so
be
we got to
meeting.
figure out the night. And we're going to do a mama burger party over here.
Yay.
So you and Greg, Michelle, will need to come. That way you'll get to meet Renee in person, okay?
Yay, that sounds great.
Wonderful. That sounds wonderful.
It'll be excellent. There's Gary's back and Michelle.
Yeah, my internet went down.
Oh, great.